Welcome, everybody.
We are live.
My name is Jason Aponte.
I am Andrew Pasquini.
We're working. That's it. We're working over here. That's it. Let's go Niners.
Let's go Niners.
Sprint Ride Option Podcast.
Oh, man. It is a new episode of the Sprint Ride Option Podcast. I am Andrew Pasquini, Jason Aponte. To my right, we are part of the Blue Wire Hustle Network. And, it's Bears week. It's very exciting. It's Halloween weekend. The Niners are going to play on Halloween. So what better way to celebrate Halloween, Jason, than me going to Target and seeing Christmas stuff? We were just talking about it. And I felt the conversation needed to be brought here because it's October 29th.
Please, someone stop this. How did we get here? And who approved this? Stop this. I think that the bigger thing that we should lead with right now, because we're a fun, positive podcast that is not going to yell and have fun. You ready for this? Here's what we're going to lead with.
Yes.
Kyle Shanahan's favorite Halloween candy is Swedish fish. On your side, yay or nay?
I can list. Swedish fish is very solid. Swedish fish is a very good candy. If Swedish fish is your favorite candy, you're the kind of guy who, when asked a question about things happening on Sunday, you would respond with, I don't even know if we're going to be alive on Sunday. So that's my opinion on favorite candy being Swedish fish.
Here's the thing. There's nothing wrong with Swedish fish, right? Like I've been seeing way too much. I've been seeing way too much slander of Swedish fish.
Yeah.
But that's not the best candy. What are you, crazy?
No.
Are you insane? Like, listen, Reese's, Kit Kat, Crunch, Snickers, dude, M&Ms. It's just anything. Sour Patch Kids, Nerds. I can go on and list 30 other candies that would far exceed Swedish fish, but I will not accept Swedish fish slander as if it's somehow terrible, and that's the wrong part. That's what I think I want to yell about.
Listen, man, Swedish fish it gives you the best chance to win. I think Reese's, it's a little too young. Reese's only plays once a season last year. Swedish fish gives you the best chance to win.
I like that.
That was just off the top. I didn't even plan that.
Was good. Oh, wow.
Mr. Inferno, we appreciate you.
Thank you. Thank you for the donation. Good. Appreciate you, man.
Just talking about candy because that's what we're doing. This is what happens when the Niners play on Halloween. I wish they played on Thanksgiving. Give us a reason to talk about all my favorite Thanksgiving foods. We don't need to do that right now, though. I wanted to open up with, I went 3 for 3 in my slow pitch softball game last night. A double, 2 singles. Your boy is back.
Uncle Rico back in the building. And if he would have been put in, there's no doubt in my mind that they would have won the state championship.
Jason, I love Jason's pop culture references. I'm okay, Jason, good news, and then we'll dive into the Niners because we're almost at 5 minutes. I am almost done with Pokemon. I have like 6 episodes left of Pokemon, and when I finish Pokemon, I'm going to Curb.
Okay, perfect.
So that's why I told you that.
Yeah, okay. I was gonna say, where's this going? Because I've never watched Pokemon, but hey, this is a football podcast, not a Pokemon podcast. Which I don't know, it should turn to that. I think it's that would be cool. But yeah, let's get to it.
The best. So the San Francisco 49ers, my favorite team, Jason's favorite team. Likely, if you're here, it's your favorite team. They are playing the Chicago Bears. The Bears out there in Chicago. With the deep dish pizza and the hot dogs, the Cubs.
Look,
no, sorry, that went way too long.
Score prediction. Bears 385, Niners 0.
It is a CM Punk shirt, Lee, and I just realized CM Punk is very Chicago. That was unintentional. Didn't mean I need to change my shirt likely. The Bears 3-4 on the season. Matt Nagy's their head coach. He might not be their head coach this Sunday because he's has COVID. He's not. Do we know who is the head coach? Because I hope it's Bill Lazor.
It's probably going to be an upgrade.
Bill Lazor is such a good name. I
like the way he spells laser.
Yeah, Lazor.
O-R. Yeah.
O-R. Any name that has the letter Z in it is solid. The Bears 3-4 on the season. And my comparison, Jason, are you ready for this? This is what I've been thinking about. You know how Marvel has that show, What If? Now it's on the Disney Plus plug. We're plugging that, I guess. The Bears are kind of the what if version of the Niners. If you want to go deeper with the Justin Fields idea, but even if you just want to go to the layer of they both had starting quarterbacks with NFL experience who may or may not be better than the rookie that was drafted to replace them. They both start the season with their starter. Andy Dalton gets hurt. Actually, it was Andrew Dalton. He looked too hot to be Andy. It's Andrew Dalton. He gets hurt. Matt Nagy goes to Justin Fields, stays with Justin Fields. Justin Fields is the Chicago Bears starter. You go to the Niners. They have Jimmy Garoppolo. Garoppolo gets hurt. Fields comes in. Or not Fields. Lance comes in. Garoppolo still the starter with a healthy Trey Lance on Sunday. I believe I saw somewhere that Lance is healthy. He good to go for Sunday. So we might see him. But the Bears really feel like the what-if version of the 49ers is what if the Niners stick with their rookie, and we'll see what happens. Well, I'm very interested to see what happens in this game. I think these two teams are more closely matched than I think Niner fans would like to admit, in my opinion. But what are your thoughts on the Bears? Just early, quick thoughts on them.
Well, I think that a lot of the 49ers fan base uses the Bears as their template for the argument for Trey Lance, right? And it continues to grow, right? Like you heard this week, Allen Robinson say, well, we're having a tough time with chemistry because Justin Fields wasn't getting reps. And then 49er fans were like, oh, look, see, so I think that you're kind of bang on when you talk about that, because this is the example that 49er fans are using for, hey, you need to just give the kid reps, right? So, and you know what, in a way, Matt Nagy is, listen, everybody's making fun of Matt Nagy. He actually has a winning record. He's been in the playoffs more years recently than Kyle Shanahan has with Mitchell Trubisky. So, like, that's another thing. But, no, look, realistically, the 49ers should win this game. And this is, look, it's not a must win, but this is the game that if they lose, then everyone has the right. I am allowing every single 49er fan to absolutely lose it and panic. You can go ahead and, write that into whatever it is. If you want to yell and scream and go crazy on Twitter, this is your game if they lose it. This is it right here. And recently I've been trying to change the way that I've been approaching things. Obviously, it's easy to focus on the negative. The 49ers just have to go 1-0 every week. That's it. And I know that sounds cliched. It's not earth-shattering, anything like that. But the circumstances change. And let me point to certain things. J.J. Watt's now out. He's not going to be playing in this next game. Kyler Murray was a little bit banged up at the end of that game. So who knows how, he played through an injury last year. And as soon as he did, that's when Arizona kind of tapered off. So I guess my point here is more this. When and circumstances change around other teams, control what you can control. You are one game out of a wild card spot right now, and you can literally jump up 2 spots with a win. So you should be looking at it in this way and stop, looking down the line of who can you beat, wins, loss. You don't know what team that's going to be there in week 13, week 14, week 15. These are going to be substantially different, and on both sides. The 49ers will be different because there might be a new quarterback, and whatever team you're facing is going to be different. So that's it. Every single game has to be 1-0, win the game in front of you, and then get to next week and repeat the same mindset. Don't look forward, don't look back, stay right here. And that's my optimism and my outlook on this game and the rest of the season right now.
Let me tear all that optimism down because I was literally going to go the opposite route, Jason. This one, the Niners need to win. Yes. They need to. This is a winnable game. I know it's in Chicago. I know it's the 10 a.m. thing. I know West Coast teams are weird with that, whatever it may be. But you look at the Niners schedule. If they win this game, they'll be 3-4. Now you have the Cardinals and Rams. If you could sneak one of those 2 games, which I think they could against the Cardinals, I don't know if the Rams, that one's a little tougher to convince me on. The Niners will be 4-5 if they get the Bears and they split one of these 2 games. Now you got the Jaguars and Vikings, 2 winnable games. Maybe you win those. Now you're 6-5. You're looking okay. And then the Seahawks, which the Seahawks, they're not great. You can beat the Seahawks. So to me, if the Niners can go into Arizona, I guess I'll bring it back to your 1 week at a time thing. If the Niners go against Arizona next week with a 3-4 record, I'm feeling fine. If they're going 2-5, you could blink and look at the Jaguars week, and you could be talking about a 2-7 team. And 2-7's done.
If they're 2-5, then they need to be sellers. Bottom line, and that's it. I mean, the trade deadline is coming up. It's time to move and get some capital and then start the kid. Like that's the bottom line. But at the same time, I'm gonna keep up with the optimism, win the game, and then next week you worry about next week and you worry about what that team is gonna look like coming out. Kyler Murray is gonna play, but he definitely was injured at the end of that game. J.J. Watt cannot wreck the right side of that line, and the 49ers were a few plays away from beating them the first time. And the Packers actually did a great job on Thursday, duplicating what DeMeco Ryans put on tape and how to limit Kyler Murray. I understand DeAndre Hopkins didn't play in this game very much, right? But at the same time, what DeMeco Ryans did is it's a copycat league. Everybody's looking at it, and I understand it sounds simple, right? Keep him in the pocket, but make him move up and look over those linemen because he wants to bail first. He doesn't want to move up. Russ at least wants to climb the pocket and throw the ball and then bail. He's just trying to bail. Obviously, we're talking about Arizona, so we should be talking about Chicago. But I'm just saying the circumstances will change around every single team week to week. This is a very much week-to-week league. NFL stands for not for long. 49ers have to win every single week. Just go 1-0 and then control what you can control. That's it.
Perfect. Yeah, perfectly sum up what we just said. I agree. I know I looked a little ahead there, but yeah, it's definitely the Niners are very much at a point where it's one game at a time. The Bears game is very winnable. This game is very winnable. It's just I don't think that's crazy to say. And I think Jesse has a good question. Yeah, I think that's a good question to start the Bears talk. How short is Jimmy's leash in this game? I'm going to say it's pretty long. That's just my opinion. I know Shanahan just said, hey, that was his worst game. To me, if you are already starting Garoppolo in this game, I think the decision's been made that he's going to play the whole game no matter what. And then you go another week and see what happens. If Garoppolo has another bad performance, I think the conversation is way more wide open. I think the conversation is significantly more wide open. But for this to be a week of, and I know it's harder with the quarterback position to do the, they're healthy or not. My guess is the leash is going to be long just because he is going Jimmy instead of Lance. And we'll see. I could be way wrong, but it just, to me, it feels like he's, and this sounds like a negative. It's not intended to be. He's looking for every reason to not play Trey Lance. And whatever reason that is, I don't know. But I think as long as Jimmy is the starter, he's not going to get pulled middle of the game during a bad performance.
Okay, I'm going opposite. And here's why.
Let's do it.
So look, I don't think the only way that Jimmy Garoppolo gets benched in this game is he has to fall flat on his face, like absolutely flat on his face, like literally like 0 for 12, like not, the offense isn't moving, anything like that. But I have a sneaking suspicion that this is Jimmy Garoppolo's last game as the starting quarterback for the 49ers, one way or another, unless he does something that is completely out of character, like throw for 375 yards, 4 touchdowns, and win the game. Okay, here's the thing. Everybody wants to point to the, obviously Kyle got asked a question that was on all 49ers fans' mind about this second-round pick, whatever. That's done. It's dead, whatever. I don't care. I choose to believe Kyle Shanahan, right? But I felt the biggest quote that I got from that entire press conference was not that. That was fine. I needed to hear that. I needed to hear no, none, cool, done. Was him saying, because it changed, right? After Monday, he was like, hey, man, Jimmy's great. It's fine. Everything's no, there's never any. And then he says, well, it looked like Trey was ready to take off, and we would have been good going in with him in the next week if he hadn't gotten injured or anything like that. That doesn't sound like a guy who was just like, all right, I'm done with this. I think he's kind of seen the light as well, too. And Garoppolo needs to feel this. And that was the quote that I really took away from that one. So I'm going to go opposite here. Okay. Jimmy Garoppolo probably is starting his last game as a 49er quarterback one way or another.
Ooh, okay.
He has to do something out of the ordinary. Throw for 375, 4 touchdowns, something like that. He has to be the reason the 49ers win. The 49ers, if he goes into this game and he throws for 220 yards, throws 1 touchdown, but Elijah Mitchell is carving up this defense, they don't have to do much or anything like that. I don't think that's going to change Shanahan's mind, because think about, can Kyle Shanahan and Jimmy Garoppolo together keep up with an Arizona Cardinals defense? Because I don't think you can expect to keep them down for 17 points again.
No.
I think Trey Lance gives them the best chance to do that, so that's my stance on it. We don't disagree often, but after I got that little nugget, that was the quote that I took, and I was like, oh, man, this is a little bit different than what he's been saying. Kind of changed his tune in the middle of the week in terms of that. Eddie, thank you for the contribution. I don't know how much beers are in Chicago, but here you go, Jason. I contributed so you can stay hydrated. Appreciate you, Eddie. And I will be hydrated. I've been trying to not drink this entire week, so I'm out there pretty early tomorrow. But yeah, that's my stance with it.
Yeah, see, I agree. I just think I do think that this is Jimmy Garoppolo's last start. That's my opinion, especially Trey Lance is healthy. I just think in terms of in game, he would have to throw 4 interceptions the first 4 drives for Shanahan to be like, okay, this change needs to happen right now. So I think
it won't happen in game.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think the question was more aimed towards in-game. That's how I took it, at least.
Mm-hmm.
I think you'll have a very long leash this game, but like to me, in my opinion, the worst case scenario for this game, and I'm not just talking for Kyle Shanahan, just talking for the sanity of 49ers Twitter, is if the Bears win this game and Justin Fields is the reason, if he absolutely dominates, because then you get the whole, look what a rookie quarterback can do. Look how good that looked. Like comparing those, what Jimmy Garoppolo has offered, and it's, to me, that's the worst case scenario for this game. And it has no fault of the 49ers. It has everything to do with the way this quarterback situation has been handled. It's been very confusing. Then again, what part of this team isn't confusing right now, right? Like, you go to every position, you look at the running back, where's Trey Sermon? You look at receiver, where's Brandon Aiyuk? Offensive line, there's questions everywhere, but the quarterback position has been handled so weird. I think it needs to be time. It just, at some point, he needs to rip the Band-Aid off and realize Jimmy Garoppolo is not the best chance for this team to win. The best chance for this team to win is get the best athlete at quarterback and see what happens. And obviously tweak play calls from the Arizona game, because that you can't win games with that offense that they ran in Arizona. To me, worst case in this game is Chicago winning it and Fields dominating. That's really it.
Well, and then think about this too. Because it's already happening right now. Apparently, everyone already knows that the better pro right now between Trey Lance and Justin Fields is already Trey Lance, based on 6 quarters of Trey Lance playing football and Justin Fields playing 4 or 5 games. Right?
Yeah.
And I think that is absolute insanity. Listen, there is a world where Trey Lance is going to be, it could be better than Justin Fields. But don't you dare tell me right now that you think that that's automatically what's happening, right? So think about this portion of it. What if Justin Fields goes out there and destroys Jimmy Garoppolo or something like that? How many people are going to say, look, you didn't pass, you passed on Justin Fields, and like, look, man, don't overreact to any of these things, anything like that. And it's still too early to tell anybody who what is, or what guy is better than the other. How can you possibly tell me after 6 quarters of Trey Lance playing football that you already know he's better than Justin Fields? Justin Fields has played 4 games with his coach telling him, yo, there's 12 men on the field. Hike it, throw it. There was 11 on the field. That's an interception that counts. Thanks a lot, Nagy. You can't count either. Like, so those are things that people aren't taking into account right now. Like, so that's the part, so like, look, if you want to say that, you can be right. You could be right, and whatever. But come on, man, you mean that certainly? Like, listen, here's the thing: Peyton Manning was off for his first year. How many people were like, "Hey, man, he's done, man. One of the greatest quarterbacks ever played the game." I'm not saying Justin Fields is that, but come on, the sample size is too small because Justin Fields throws 2-3 picks a game. Man, stop it! Whoever's asking that question, get out of here, man. Go, keep going.
And at the same time, though, like you and I, like if you rewind back to the draft, you and I were like, hey, Justin Fields should be 3. Justin Fields is guy 3. We're not going to come here on Monday if the Bears win and say, well, they messed that up, because it's as you said, one game. Let's look at the injuries real quick, because some things are going on. Trent Williams doesn't sound like he's playing. Jalen Moore played fine against.
Wait, that sounds like he's playing. He suited up today.
Oh, did I read that backwards? Oh, wait,
yeah,
I totally skipped a sentence. Trent Williams is looking good. He returned to practice, but Williams handled the session where I read the wrong sentence. Kinlaw is out. That's who I meant to say.
Kinlaw's out for the year.
And he's out for the season. Take Shanahan saying the good news is I think they solved the problem. Take it as you may, whatever it means. Hopefully it's a good sign, because Javon Kinlaw's knees have been an issue even before the draft. And so hopefully, the problem, I know there's a difference between they think they solved the solution or the problem, and the problem's been solved. So we'll see. Obviously, time will tell on that. D Ford and Aziz Al-Shair, both in concussion protocol. Doubtful. Maurice Hurst has been ruled out. Jaquaski Tartt's been ruled out. So obviously that's a bummer. I'm a little excited to see what Hufanga can do with more snaps. That's kind of the silver lining there. I would rather have Tartt than Hufanga. I think that's obvious. And it sounds like Jordan Willis will be activated, especially if Samson Ebukam can't play. He's questionable. So we'll see what Jordan Willis can do, because he had a very good preseason. He's coming off that 6-game suspension for the PEDs, whatever it was. Probably a word I don't know how to say. The big injury that is affecting the Bears is Khalil Mack is out. No Khalil Mack. That's huge for the Niners, especially considering Jimmy Garoppolo is going to be the starting quarterback, less of a mobile quarterback. The only 5 players the Bears had on the injury list was Hicks, Gibson, Grant, Kamara, and Horsted, all of which were questionable. So there's your injury report.
Yep. The one that concerns me the most is Aziz Al-Shaair.
Yes.
And here's why. He's been incredible, especially in run defense. And you can say what you want about the Bears offensive line, but Khalil Herbert has been playing so well. And against Tampa Bay's big run stout defense, he was ripping off chunk run after chunk run. Sometimes you don't need a good offensive line when your running back actually has very good vision, which Khalil Herbert has. That's the part that'll concern me. And here's why. If that running game starts to get going, Justin Fields' numbers off of play action are sparkling, and they go all the way up, right? Because, hey, maybe right now a rookie isn't a drop back passer right away. Maybe get him some advantageous looks. And the problem is the Bears don't get to it. But the thing is if Bill Lazor's in control, then that's something that can hamper. And we all know what happened in the secondary for the 49ers. If Justin Fields is allowed to throw that thing down the field and they start to bail and panic, that's still chunk yards. He doesn't have to complete those passes to move the ball down the field. So Khalil Herbert can really mess this game up a little bit. And I think that I mean that by if he's running well and that play action becomes something that the 49ers are drawn into, and then Justin Fields is throwing it and that secondary hasn't cleaned up these defensive pass interference issues, then it could become a bit of a problem. To answer Lee's question, Debo's in for sure. There's no questions on that at all. He was fine. They just gave him a vet day, but that's my concern. That's literally my one concern with this game. My one concern. That's it. That is all. And it starts with Khalil Herbert because he's been playing so well. If you've been watching him, even like I said, Tampa Bay has like a 1-2 run defense in the league. He was really, really good. And I was on a show with Brad Graham where he talked about sometimes offensive linemen, the running back makes you look good. They set you up in the right direction. And I think that's what Khalil Herbert has been doing. He's been spectacular. And if he can get going, that can kind of cause the 49ers problems. And that would probably be my only concern in this game.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting looking defense for the 49ers, considering Tart's out for Hufanga. And I mean, I'm assuming Marcel Harris, right?
Yeah, he'll play.
So that's going to be the linebacker situation. Marcel Harris is going to be in. So it's going to be an interesting look for the defense. Maybe Diamador Lenore gets some snaps. I don't know. I would prefer that. I like that. Doubt it. But hey, a man can dream, Jason.
Yep.
I want to talk about the head coach of the San Francisco 49ers real quick, because there's a lot of, people aren't happy with him. He's had back-to-back questionable games. A big thing is we didn't even talk about it because we were trying to stay positive last episode. The challenge he had, I forgot to mention it. That challenge where I don't even remember what he was challenging against the Colts, but nobody knew.
I thought we talked about that. It was just he was frazzled. Yeah, he was frazzled.
We did talk about it, but things like that, people are questioning. If the Niners are going to win this game, I'm going to need this to be a very good Kyle Shanahan game. That's, in my opinion, the biggest thing. He can't for the Niners to win, there can't be questions on anything he did in that game. It's just been very hit or miss recently, and I need a game where the conversation out of the game isn't Kyle Shanahan doing bad, it's Kyle Shanahan doing good. That's really the point I wanted to get across. I think this needs to be a Kyle Shanahan turnaround game.
If the 49ers are going to put any sort of confidence into anybody, they need to win this game, and they don't need to win in a blowout. They need to just win emphatically. And what I mean by that is impose your will. You're the better team. I'm tired of getting up on here and talking about, man, they're better than this team, they're better than this team, and then losing, right? Like right after the Colts game, so many YouTube comments. Are you sure that you're the better team than the Colts? Yes, absolutely. Doesn't mean that the better team was on the field that day. But yes, absolutely, the 49ers are a better team than the Indianapolis Colts. Yeah. Who cares if they won the game? I mean, they won that day, but they're not the better team. Like, that doesn't make sense. Like, so that's this is it, right? Again, I'm tired of talking about, man, you're better than this team. You should be up here and win the game emphatically, impose your will, do what you got to do. That's it, man. Go. Like this is it. If it's gonna start, it's got to start this week. Let's take this real quick. Luke, thank you for the contribution. KC should fire Andy and trade Pat Mahomes for sure. I love that.
Let's idea. Chaos. I'm a big chaos guy. Let's do that. Yeah, this to me, like the 49ers are better than the Bears. I think I opened with that. It's not even close. The Niners, this just needs to be a game the Niners dominate, and I think it's gonna start. We opened up with Garoppolo and all that. Just run the ball. Just run the ball. Like just in general, like I just feel like when there's a game where Elijah, because they can do it. Elijah Mitchell's still very good. I know there's a lot of injuries at the running back position, but Elijah Mitchell's very good. Dre Sermon is good. We've seen the flashes. I just need this. I'm not asking for an NFC Championship game against the Packers where they run the ball 400 times and pass it 8. I need more running from this offense. That's been my biggest gripe. If I had to pick my complaint, I just feel like they've kind of abandoned the run more than they usually do. I need this to be an Elijah Mitchell game where he gets close. I mean, not even just Elijah Mitchell, just everybody, because I think they only had 20 something runs last game. Mm-hmm. I think they need to be closer to 30, 35 runs this game.
And I think what I want to expand upon on that is he needs to get into a play calling rhythm. And I think that's really what it's about, right? Like when something's working and play after play, like the script is fine. When it's scripted, it's all good, apparently. You get Jimmy on bootlegs, you get him easy throws, things like that. The scripts are good. It's when you get away from that script, he's not in any sort of rhythm right now at this point. And that's really what it needs to be. It really just needs to, there has to be some sort of semblance of a direction with the game plan, right? Like we can't be asking halfway through the game, man, why isn't Elijah Mitchell getting touches? Man, why aren't they like if something's working, and this is what 2019 Kyle Shanahan did that was so perfect, was like I say it all the time, and I probably said it 12 times, 13 times. People can cut the same clip. Like a boxer setting up the jab, watching where to hit, then you hit. That's where Kyle Shanahan needs to get back to. So we're gonna see, man. We got to see. Like that's it more than anything. So
this game feels unnecessarily stressful. like that's just what it is, man. It's tough because like Christian says, I'm not going to go as far as what Christian's saying. If we lose, we're just as bad as the Jets, Dolphins, and I don't think that's true. But like the idea is there, right? Is that yeah, they're going to be 2-5 and they don't have a pick to fall back on. This is way too important of a game to be in October against the Bears. This shouldn't be this important, but here we are.
Right. And Jesse's question is, Kyle mentioned packages about Trey and you're going to see Trey in this game. And I set the over under at 5 plays for him, especially in the red zone, I believe. And, which is, I have my own thoughts on that because I feel like that's an indictment on Jimmy Garoppolo more than anything. It's like in the red zone, it's like, man, let's get him out. Let's get our guy in there who can actually make it happen. Like that's a little bit of an indictment, but that's something different. But I think you do see him. Trey Sermon's not going to play in this game. I don't know, man. I don't know. And I'm going to try to stick with this. I guess not I'm going to stick with it, but I'm going to try to give what I think is going on in their brain. And you're going to disagree with it because I disagree with it. All 3 of their first, second, third round picks, all of them are redshirted for next year when Trey becomes the guy. Banks is supposed to fit what Trey does, and so is Sermon, and they want to run the crap out of the ball. And it sucks though, because usually your first 3, your first 1, 2, 3 round picks, they're impact players. They're not redshirted. And then for Jalen Moore to step in and play as admirably as he did, and then Elijah Mitchell play as well as he did, it really doesn't make sense when you come to that.
I think like there's obviously talent in this draft class. I just don't know why they're not utilized. Like to me, man, it's one thing to not play Diamador Lenore, but it's a whole other to leave him off the game day roster, right? Like to me, that's weird. And I just don't know what the strategy is because, obviously we're talking about Diamador Lenore, a later round pick, but he's shown he could play decently. And it's not like they have, the Legion of Boom at secondary. They have depth issues. So how is Diamador Lenore not playing? It's not that this draft class isn't good. We're 7 games into this draft class. The question needs to be spun, and why isn't this draft class being utilized more? And that's, I think, to me, if it continues at this pace, I think that's the big takeaway from the 2021 season. We're a third of the way through the season, and we're still having to talk about like, why isn't Trey Sermon getting snaps? It's insane to me, and I just want Brandon Aiyuk, man. Like, is that too much to ask? Like I kind of made a joke earlier today that hurt me because Deshaun Jackson's available, and I said Shanahan and Lynch should make a call because then it'll be another veteran receiver they can get more targets for than Aiyuk, and it hurt my soul a little bit. But And yeah, it's probably Kyle. Obviously, it's Kyle because Kyle is the guy who makes these decisions. He's literally the guy on offense and defense is putting the personnel out there. He's the one choosing the situation. So yeah, the draft class has been very interesting, and it's interesting to see what other teams are doing with their draft classes in in similar spots. So it's weird. It's weird, and I don't know how I got on this tangent, but here I am. That's where I'm at. Jason, do you have any thoughts before we get into predictions and whatnot?
No, just a lot of what was said, in between the weeks about, it's just, here's the thing I'm going to say about Brandon Aiyuk. I just don't understand this whole slander Brandon Aiyuk in the media thing. It's I think Rodney Harrison talked about it right after Sunday Night Football. Oh, if you want to have that tough conversation, you don't have that in the media. Bring him in the office and say the things that you want to say.
Yeah.
In the same way, but putting it in the media, man, like here's the thing, right? And here's another thing that I'm going to say real quick about Kyle Shanahan is this one style fits all coaching style. Some people, and head coaching is about managing personalities. Some people respond better to warmth. Mm-hmm. Some people respond better to tough love. Some people respond better when you leave them alone. Some people respond better when you're on their back. The problem is you're not managing any of these personalities and you're expecting everybody to get in line. Like you did this to Debo, and guess what? Debo responded. Debo's the 5th leading receiver in the league right now. You're doing it to Brandon Aiyuk. You did it to Dante Pettis. Maybe they're not responding because that's not the way to coach them. Mm-hmm. And that's what is the tricky part about being a head coach. It's not all about creating the right plays, calling the right plays, personnel decisions. It's so much. And maybe there is a little bit too much on Kyle Shanahan's plate. Maybe there is, because that's a lot. But you do have to manage your personalities better. Every person's different. It's the same thing. Anybody who's in here watching the show or listening to it, if you're a manager, you understand that your one style fits all is not going to work. You have to be able to motivate people in different ways, and you have to be able to understand your players and understand them as people in order to get that motivation out of them. That's my rant.
Beautiful. We just solved all the 49ers problems. Boom. They're going to win on Sunday now. They hurt us.
Oh, they are going to win on Sunday.
Yeah, they're still going to win on Sunday. Yeah. Which I guess we can dive into. Hey, Jason, what if I told you the Bears have scored 21 points or more this season just once? It was against the Lions. It was 24-14. Last week, they lost to the Buccaneers 38-3. I don't know if they're going to score very much against the Niners. The Niners defense, obviously the secondary has some issues. I still like the pass rush. I still, even with Al-Shaair likely out, I still like the linebacker. We'll see what Marcel Harris can do, and I'm excited for Talanoa Hufanga given his
Demetrius Flanagan foul season.
DFF,
my friend. Yes.
Him as well. Yes. So I don't think the Bears are scoring more than 14 points this game.
Yeah.
The question is how many points do the Niners score?
Right, and that's really what
that's the hard part of this answer.
Hey, if you want to figure out how to win this game, I've got one way to do it. You ready? Okay. This is going to be earth-shattering, groundbreaking. When the clock strikes 0, have more points than the other team.
Whoa, this is why they listen to the Sprint Right Option podcast, Jason.
You're welcome. No, listen. Yes, there are. So look. The 49ers should win this game. Better than the Bears. I kind of outlined where things can go a little bit haywire in terms of concern, right? Like, if Khalil Herbert starts to really run well, I'm very afraid about this run defense, which was already giving up yards with Azeez Al-Shaair because Jonathan Taylor went crazy last week in that game. That scares me. That's the only portion of it that scares me, right? So there are ways for the Bears to create problems, but at the same time, this should be handled very well by the 49ers. The Bears are in disarray. They have a big COVID outbreak between their team. Like their offensive, someone else is now has COVID. They don't know if he's going to be there. I believe that another player's out. I think Robert Quinn is like a little bit on the other side of questionable more than anything. So with no Khalil Mack, all of those things, you should be able to handle business. Even if you're not the team that we maybe thought you were or were sold on earlier, you're still better than them, and you still should be able to win this game. Like it's very much right there in front of you. And again, win this game, and then you go to next week and you start to look at, hey, now let's make a move. You have Arizona in front of you, you have the Rams in front of you, and then you could try to maybe figure things out. And maybe it gets figured out this week. I'm going to try to stay optimistic, but yes, the 49ers should win this game. Absolutely.
I think this win is going to roll into a 3-game winning streak. That's my opinion. Positivity. Power of positivity. 24-10, 49ers. Going to Chicago. They do it. Robbie Gould revenge game. He has at least 2 field goals. Actually, Robbie Gould not playing. Bummer. Damn.
They should drop him off. They should drop him off and leave him since he wants to be a Bear so bad. Is there a way we can trade him during the game? Like you just say, hey, listen, just have him go on the other side. You know, he loves it here, even though you ran him off with pitchforks when he
first round pick. First round pick. Yep.
First round pick. Deal. Yeah, the 49ers are sellers. Robbie go for a first round pick. Who says no? I say yes.
I say yes. 24-10 Niners. That's my prediction. Put it in Sharpie. I feel good about that. I think Elijah Mitchell has a touchdown again. I'm going to say Garoppolo has one turnover. But he has 2 touchdowns. So
one turnover, but 3 oh-no-nos.
God, I'm gonna miss the oh-no-nos. Like it was.
No, I'm not. No, I'm not.
So for those of you who want a little insight in my life, I watch these games in my room by myself, and I physically yell "oh no" when an oh no throw happens. So like I'm pretty much the peak of where you want to be in life. 24-10 Niners. Did I say that?
You did.
Okay.
27-13 Niners.
27-13. Okay.
Yeah. I don't think the 49ers are going to have a problem running the ball. It's just all pretty much up to Kyle. And you know, when you look at the numbers on play action for Justin Fields and Jimmy Garoppolo, they jump up drastically. And you know, who knew that when you play to your quarterback strengths, good things happen, as opposed to dropping him back when he's not a good drop back passer. Putting him in play action actually works if that's their strength. It's a novel concept for anybody, right? So, So I've got the 49ers winning this game. Should be a nice bounce back, get right game, and I feel good about the team's chances going in there, and not just because I'm going to the game, which I'm leaving early in the morning tomorrow for.
It's just a humble brag. Jason travels, whatever. We get it. He has friends.
What? I'm going by myself.
Hey, the big question I've been meaning to ask you all day, question on everybody's mind, really. I got this question about 17 times in my DMs. What is Jason Aponte going to be for Halloween?
Oh, I'm going to be an optimistic 49ers fan. It's going to be really dope. I promise you. I put a lot of thought into this.
Can you wear your Jerick McKinnon jersey to the game?
Oh, do you want me to? I'll pack it. Pack it.
I want you. No, wear it to the game though.
Oh damn! I had a dripped out.
Okay.
All right. I'll wear it. Oh, you know what? I'll wear it to the 49er meetup Saturday night. I'll wear it to the 49er.
That works. I'll take that.
All right.
I'll gladly take that. I'm not a big Halloween guy, but my girlfriend is forcing me to dress up for Halloween. She did give me she got me an alien onesie though, so I might be doing the next 3 pods in a onesie because I'm a big onesie guy. I don't have one right now. I'm a little sad. What's your favorite Halloween candy? I'm just really asking Halloween questions. This is how I theme the shows, right? We talk about the game and then I just ask Halloween questions.
Reese's, we talked about that. And fun fact about the Dark Knight returning to Soldier Field, all of the Dark Knight movies were actually filmed in Chicago. Yep. I mean, the Christopher Nolan movies.
The Bears.
If anybody doesn't know that, that is an old Saturday Night Live skit with Chris Farley, the guy from Cheers, a few other people.
Didn't they have one where they interviewed Michael Jordan? Yeah.
Yeah, Michael Jordan.
They're in the luau skirt.
The hula.
Doubles. Okay, this is we've gone off the rails.
Well, hold on. So that's why when I did my little score prediction, that's their score prediction. So when they'll do it, like Bulls 875, Knicks 13, and that those are their score predictions. So that's why when I did it, all right, whatever, we're good here. I just wanted to make sure we explain the reference. That's all.
You never answered my question. What's your favorite Halloween candy? Reese's. That's the only answer. It's really the only answer.
Yeah.
Mine is Swedish Fish.
Swedish Fish is fine. It's just not the Swedish Fish is fine, man. I mean, it's not. You can win with it, man. It's just boring.
It doesn't take any deep shots.
It doesn't take any deep shots.
Crossers.
I mean, if you want a man beater and you want, it's gonna have a short A dot on it. I mean, obviously, right now what we're doing is Rich Madrid impressions, which I love. Rich, yeah, we do this all the time. Sorry, yeah. All right, we got another donation coming. Eddie V, thank you, man. I appreciate it. Am I a bad 49ers fan for wanting the Bears to win so Kyle finally moves on the trade?
Yes.
I think he's going to anyway, Eddie.
Yeah. Yeah. First of all, he's gonna move on. But yes, you never cheer against the Niners because the Niners number one in my heart, number one in Jason's heart. So that's it, Jason. I hope you have a fantastic trip to Chicago. Do you want to once again plug kind of all the things you're doing there? So if anybody's in Chicago and want to meet the most famous man on 49ers Twitter.
Yeah, so no, shut up. Basically there is John Chapman's meetup, which is I believe I tweeted it out, so you guys can go ahead, get your tickets. Make sure you use promo code Aponte if you are going to do that, which will give you access to the meetup. And then the tailgate where it's unlimited beer and brats, and I'll be there for that as well too. But yeah, I'm going to be around in Chicago. I'm sure that I've already seen 49er fans staying at the same hotel that I'm going to be staying at. So sure, I'll bump into a bunch of you guys. If you see me, say hello. Let's have a beer. Let's talk 49ers. Let's laugh. And let's just enjoy football. Again, one more thing that I want to get across. I understand we're all frustrated right now, right? And things haven't gone so well with the season. There's only a certain amount of weeks of football.
Yeah.
So let's try to remember that and enjoy it a little bit more, too. We can be stressed out and also realize that, we're already in week 8.
Oh my God, dude. Aaron Rodgers. Okay. So I didn't watch the game last night. Right. I had a slow pitch softball game, went 3 for 3, double, 2 singles. I don't know if you've heard yet. And I saw the headline of Aaron Rodgers holds up 7 fingers taunting Arizona fans or whatever it was. I'm like, why is he holding up 7 fingers? And I read because of their win streak. I'm like, no, it's like week 4. How are they on a 7-game win streak? I'm like, oh, it's week 8. They are on a 7-game win streak. And obviously I'm not going to be in Chicago, but once again, if you do, the first person who tells Jason, I watched the Sprint Right Option podcast for Andrew and only Andrew, Jason will buy you a beer. First person, only one. First person.
Don't do this. It's going to turn into Where's Waldo?
No, it's just one beer. And then you tell everybody else no. But then you get to meet all the people who want to meet you because nobody watches this podcast for me. My dad was like, hey, Andrew, that guy you do the podcast with, the only reason I watch. And
your dad did not say that.
He didn't. No, he didn't.
Of course he did.
It would have been funny. But for real though, first person to tell Jason you watch the podcast because of me and not Jason. I don't know how nobody I was really self-conscious about doing this with the hair. Because I know how Twitter do be or how these comments do be, but nobody really noticed, and I'm pretty happy. I love it. This is by far the longest my hair has ever been. Not even close. So I'm finally doing something. I think this look it's is what it is. It is.
And I was worried that my barber left a little bit too much on top of my hair that got me looking like Kid from Kid and Play right now. So, but hey, thank you for coming on with that because no one's looking at that now.
Hey man, I like my hair. It is what it is. It's long and I'm having fun with it. Jason Aponte, as always.
Let's go Niners and enjoy the week, man. Beat the Bears.
Beat the Bears. The pizza and the bean and Wrigleyville and the White Sox and the
John Cusack owning Barstool.
All right. CM Punk.
Welcome everybody.
We are live.
My name is Jason Aponte.
I am Andrew Pasquini.
We're working. That's it. We're working over here. That's it. Let's go Niners.
Let's go Niners.